Hello again, I'm artist, writer, comic book creator Michael S Garner with my own self-published comic book. It's online, it's a complete online comic book. You can download it through PDF or you can just read it online if you want to do it that way, or you can go to my website, see it there. There's many different ways you can get it. You can even get a printed version. If you've watched through the other videos, I do some reviews and everything like that about certain TV shows and cartoons and everything, usually related to comic books. Okay, always relate to comic books. And I seem to gravitate more towards TV. So that's why this video is about Iron Fist. I felt bad because obviously the reviews came out really quickly when the reviewers saw Iron Fist, and they were bad. Just to be honest, if you didn't read any of that, if you haven't seen the show completely yet. It's been there for a while now. So I agree, but I don't agree. I think that in all, I finally finished the entire season a few days ago. I think in all, they did a fair job. So they're like somewhere in the middle. But I do agree with a lot of the things that people have said about this series. And I didn't want to, because I tried to go in there with an open mind. But for me, I've said before in the past that I thought Daredevil was perfect. Season 2 was great. I just didn't like the whole Elektra ending. What else? Jessica Jones, I love. Just flat out love Jessica Jones. I don't care if people thought it was slow in the middle or whatever in certain episodes. I still love Jessica Jones. I love the tone of that, which was more the tone that Daredevil had, which will in Luke Cage after that. They brightened it up a little bit, and in this one I felt like tone and just like visually they brightened up the whole thing, and I'm like, oh, that's different for Netflix. We saw it on the trailer and everything. And to the point like where I'm like, okay, but this is supposed to be about Iron Fist, and I know who Iron Fist is because I used to read Power Man and Iron Fist when I was younger. So it was kind of weird. I'm like, okay, so you're gonna go for this tone, but you didn't. But Luke Cage, like I said, he went a little bit lighter than Jessica Jones or Daredevil did. So I kind of get that part. Okay, we're gonna gravitate more towards lighter. Then when we bring the Defenders in, it'll all match up. That's my theory anyway. I don't know. Despite that, it just there's something odd feeling about the whole tone of it. But there are things that I like, and things that I didn't like. Well, first of all, I just want to say, I think we all love the business aspect of probably this series and many other series. But if you're gonna call it Iron Fist, and it's about a person who basically is a great martial artist with the power to take his chi, put it into his fist, and be able to almost bust through anything, have a little bit more fighting. Because the first 6 episodes, everybody was right about it. I feel bad. I have to agree that much. The first 6 episodes, it was hard. Because I'm like, okay, all right. And when they did show us fighting, I disagree with some people. They thought that it kind of was bad. I didn't think it was bad. I like the flow of it. Which actually, I'll jump down a little bit. The flow of his fighting, because they made it almost like a dance. And he predicted your movements, but he used the flow of his movements and his momentum to beat the crap out of you. And he did it very quickly. And even the opening sequence for the credits, the theme of the show, which they have the animation of the guy just doing kung fu and everything like that. And they show the line work. Like, you can see his past movements through lines. Like, if you were in a comic book when they used to do movement lines, like, do a movement line like this, and you see the past line from where the arm actually came to and where it landed. I like that because that goes with what I said about the flow of his martial arts. That's what he does. That was the flow. And I like that aspect. But he got his ass whipped a lot. And that was a little annoying. It was like almost every single opponent, I swear, it was like a standstill fight. And I was like, okay, you're supposed to be this good. Yes, you're still learning and everything, but that's a little annoying. You're already getting your ass whooped. And you're supposed to be the greatest, whatever. It just, that kind of took me away a little bit. The guy who actually plays Danny Rand, I can't remember his name at the moment, he is okay. I understand how people say the hippie thing. I think that that's appropriate. That's basically how they portrayed him, as being a hippie. But I don't think it was necessarily bad. They were just kind of making him more younger, and he was on. I mean, he was out there in Kung Lao, whatever, for so long, ever since he was like a kid. So it had to have done something to the way he matured as a man. So I do think that that was kind of a little bit appropriate. So I didn't really have too much of a problem with the hippie thing. I'm like, okay, this is what they want to go for, and that's perfectly fine. I mean, it's different. It's different from Daredevil. It's different from Jessica Jones. It's different from Luke Cage. It's completely different. So that would be the cool thing, to actually see them together. And I do want to see them together because I want to see what the dynamic is going to be. Because it just makes such a diverse team that you're imagining, how is this going to work together? How is it going to fit together? What else? My favorite. I wish I did not put her name down here, and I can't remember her name. The girl played Joy Meacham. Joy Meacham. She, I just remember her from the remake of 90210 on CW. Yes, I did watch that because I watch a lot of CW shows. In the beginning it was okay, then it just became awful. It was just awful, just whatever. And my friend still watched it, and I would watch it with him every once in a while. But the one thing I did like about that show was her. I always liked her. And when I saw her in this role, I'm like, oh my gosh, she's older now. She's playing it good, and she did I think through the whole series, she did a fantastic job, even with what she had to work with. Like when the reveal, spoiler, because this is a spoiler, when the reveal that her father was alive and everything, I thought that her reaction was genuinely, it was a good reaction. I don't think the writing was that great, but her reaction was good. Just how she acted it out. I love her to death. So that was one thing about the series that was a really big plus. What else? I just made a few notes here because it was a whole series, and I just wanted to get everything down that I really wanted to say about it. And yeah, God, I already just covered a lot, didn't I? And I was actually going to make a reference to the Secret Circle. That is something that it kind of reminded me of. The Secret Circle, especially with the fighting thing, until like after episode 6, and it amped up and it got really good. Secret Circle was on CW, and I had high hopes for it because Vampire Diaries, it wasn't a spin-off of Vampire Diaries, but it was in the same genre, and it was about witches, and they did nothing. It was always a lead up to nothing. It was just boring as all hell. They barely used their powers, and that was the reason why I think that show failed very quickly. The writing was okay, but it was just like they really didn't do anything. It was all this hype for nothing. Going back to Iron Fist, but that's what kind of reminded me. That reminded me of Iron Fist a little bit. The disappointment with that part. Rosario Dawson, sweet Christmas jokes, that was getting a little bit annoying. The roles that the lines that she was actually being fed were kind of hard to take. I know that we're supposed to love her and she's supposed to be the glue that keeps all these people together, but I really didn't. I wasn't overjoyed to see her in this series because it was just a little bit annoying, and it was just like she was just there as a filler. So I don't. That's something for me. They had tie-ins and everything. That's what's going to happen next and all the other series and everything. But it's just something about her this time around just did not work for me. Sometimes watching the footage was like somebody recording the whole show on their phone, which was kind of a little annoying too. I'm like, God, this is not that great, but they're trying to make it different, just trying to make the show different. And I don't know, the whole thing about there being one villain on TV series and then suddenly you get the surprise and it's really actually another villain that you get. I still believe that that's something that came from Buffy because we didn't have that. Buffy was famous doing it, but she did it well, and certain series don't do it well. And this one was just like it was convoluted. It became the Hand, became this. It was just, and you knew it, in the end it had to be the Meacham's father, and that's what it was. But it was just like to go there, to come back, to go there, to come back. It just kind of made the main villain not even important by the time it ended. But the relationship between Iron Fist and Lang, the girl, I always get the names wrong lately. The girl does I love her acting. She was really great, and I like their relationship together after like episode 6, where we found out the twist and everything like that, what she was a part of. It actually made it just made the relationship seem more real. Before it was too quick. Like she fell in love with him a little bit too quick, in my opinion. And especially after everything that she was doing and everything, like she's in the fight club, and that was actually a hard scene to watch, but it felt more, having her be the bad guy made it feel more real. And when they got back together, it was a little bit quick again when they got back together, but it was a progression of him having to trust her and everything. And that made the relationship. I thought that they made that work in the end. And Trinity, who plays the lawyer, and she played the lawyer in Jessica Jones. I love her to death. Every single scene that she was in, I thought she was perfect. And I didn't even like her. I mean, when I watched the Matrix movie, I didn't even like her as much as everybody else liked her. But I love her in Jessica Jones, and I loved her in this series. Just like I said, every scene she was in, I thought was perfect. And I was just happy to see her. She actually brings a smile to my face how she plays that role. She just plays it really gritty, and she plays it honestly. It's just like you know this person, and whatever. Just love her. And the ending of Iron Fist, it was typical. He beat him, and the only one positive at the end, as far as like fighting wise and everything, because the fighting got better after episode 6, was the fact that he did that punch that we seen in a trailer, and you didn't realize that punch was going to actually knock out a whole floor of a building. I was like, that's good. We set the power level here, and we will see this in the future. But all in all, Iron Fist was fair. It was somewhere in the middle. And I feel bad that it came out this way, but I think that they'll do better when they'll most likely, they'll get a second season. Netflix will give them a second season, so I think it'll all work out. But that's my review of Iron Fist and the things that I liked and the things that I didn't like. And if you want to see future videos and future reviews on certain things, click down below the like button, and you'll get notifications when I put up new videos. And I will be putting up what I'm coming up soon. Oh, I want to talk about that damn Death Note trailer. I don't think I need to do a whole video about it, but I'll do that, and I'll do that with the musical episode of The Flash and Supergirl. I actually wanted to do a reason why I don't want this to happen video, but I never did one. So this will be the video that will touch on that, and you'll find out my opinion then. I hope everybody has a great weekend, and I will see you next time. Michael S Garner, visionsofthenew.com is my online comic book if you want to check it out there. Have a good day.